Hey folks, this is VP. Earlier today, I showed my lunch or whatever, and I kind of gave you a little healthy tip about what's one thing you could eat for lunch. Tonight, this is kind of what's for dinner. The ingredients I'm going to use, uh, you know, there's some sodium in it or whatnot, but this is the thing. If you drink water like you're supposed to, then you can have a little sodium, which is like when I say sodium, I mean like your um, your salt and stuff like that. I try not to over season my stuff, so just get just enough to get a flavor. Um, then I use other ingredients as well, and you'll start reading the labels and looking at sodium contents and everything when you're healthy. Um, Basically, what you're gonna need to complete today's meal is gonna be a combination of things. You're gonna need. We're gonna make. Well, first of all, I'll tell you what we're gonna make. We're gonna make this like a chicken taco or chicken burrito type thing. It consist of rice. It's gonna consist of chicken. You can use the salsa or picante sauce. I'm gonna use some of my wife's she's from West Africa, so there's like a stew that she makes that usually has meat in it, but I'm just using the stew in place of the picante sauce. Um, what you want to do, I kind of prepped everything so that way it doesn't take more than the 15 minutes that we have here. I don't know if I'm going to need another part to complete the meal, but your overall prep time is going to probably be about probably about an hour and a half. Some of that is just letting everything kind of marinate and everything. So um, you're gonna need the ingredients that you're gonna need. You're gonna need some onion, probably about a quarter of an onion. If you got like a regular, small one. Big one, it's only going to be like an eighth of an onion if it's a big onion. But yellow, yellow or white onion, whatever you like. Red onion, whatever you like. Um, you're going to need rice, which usually takes about 20-25 minutes. Generally, rule of thumb on rice is for every cup of rice, you use 2 cups of water. And, I just go ahead and put it all in together. My wife started doing that. I say, well, I'm gonna let it boil first, but she's like, just mix it in together. So I just start cooking it all together, and once it gets to a boil, I simmer it for 20 minutes, and it comes out fine. But I don't use instant rice or anything like that. I like to use fresh rice. We get it in the box. It's a big, plentiful amount. So we eat rice around here. Hopefully, I try to eat too much now, or I try to make sure I eat portion amount. And in this burrito, it's not going to be a lot of rice. It's just going to add flavor. So, um, this you're going to use, like I said again, the onions. I use green pepper and red pepper. Those are flavorful, but it's also going to add like a filler on your burrito. And now obviously, if we're making burritos, you're going to need tortillas. I use soft tortilla. I don't like the hard shell ones. You're also gonna use I have the extra virgin olive oil, and this is my favorite brand, teriyaki sauce. I love it. Uh, I use fresh broccoli, which I'm going to put here. And another thing I use instead of lettuce, I use a piece of cabbage. I make sure that I make sure I have a sharp knife. A chef gave me this. This is a story behind this knife. Um, Story behind this knife. A chef actually gave me this knife. I used to work with him probably about 10, 11 years ago. Probably about 11, about 12 years ago I worked with him. Never forget, he was a funny guy. And I didn't even know he was a chef, because what I was doing didn't have anything to do with chef work. But at the time I was single, and I was trying to date and everything, and I was like, I didn't really know I like to cook, and just, I'm just trying to give you some advice on something you can make that's pretty tasty, that you can, make again. But you gotta have a sharp knife. I've had this knife for over 10 years, and it's not as sharp as when I got it. I'm gonna have to sharpen the blade, but you're gonna need this, okay? And you gotta have a nice little strainer spoon to get your broccoli and cabbage. What we're gonna do today is we're gonna steam the broccoli and cabbage, and you'll be surprised how tasty it is when you taste it. I pre-made it, but I'm gonna show you how to cook it. It takes about, once you cut up everything, it's probably about 15-minute prep time. Because once it boils, then what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna kind of show you what you do for that. Okay, you just get your regular your regular size pot, and what you're gonna do is I don't own a steamer, but I know how to steam. What you do is you get your pot, you fill it up probably to about maybe like here with the water, because you don't want it to be too much. You don't want it to boil these stuff. You want it to steam. So you fill that up with water. I use sea salt. Sea salt. I don't know if it's better for you or not, but I like the feeling of having sea salt. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this water. I like to put the water in hot, and I'm going to go ahead and put that on my stove. And I'm going to turn my iron on high. Okay. This is the interesting part. You're going to get a regular aluminum foil, and what you're going to do is you're going to put it over the top of the pot, and then you're going to kind of push it in, and you're going to kind of push it in until it forms like a bowl. And then what you do is you take your once you have it in there, you take your super sharp knife and you just kind of poke little holes in there, because what that's going to do is once the water boils, it's going to allow the steam to be able to get through there. You see all them little holes that I got there? And it's kind of the ghetto way to do it or whatever, but I don't consider myself ghetto. But if you don't have a steamer, this is a cheap way to steam. Everybody usually has some aluminum foil in the house. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and put this back on my pot. Alright. I've already added the sea salt to here, so I'm just waiting for that to cook. I got my fan on, so that way it takes away the if it's too much smoke. Alright. Now what we're gonna do is we're steady prepping. That's what we're doing. We're steady prepping. You're gonna want to. You're also gonna. What I usually like to get is. Alright. What I like to use for my chicken, and when I can get it, If it's on sale, I try to get it. It's gonna be your, this is, okay. This is your it's like your chicken breast. It's bone-in chicken breast. I like to get it when it's on sale. This one still has the skin on it, but what we're gonna do is you're gonna need this top too when you're doing this, when you're steaming your broccoli, okay, and your cabbage. What we're gonna do is okay. We're gonna change direction. My water's actually boiling already. Doesn't take long. It does not take long for water to boil if you have foil over it. If you ever want to make water boil fast, put foil over it. You'd be surprised how fast it boils. Okay. Let's take our cabbage. What we're gonna do is just cut that up. It's a little small, bite-sized pieces. Don't want any large pieces in here. And then we're gonna take our broccoli. It's got a bunch of crowns on here. You're just gonna, cut the broccoli up. I eat all this, man. I eat the stalks and everything, man. So I'm gonna cut the stalks, into small pieces. And I like to cut the crowns into small pieces. Okay? I've already washed my broccoli, just in case you're thinking I'm nasty or something. I don't like to eat dirty food, and I've already, washed it. So what you're gonna do at this point is you're gonna put everything on your little pot here that's boiling. Right now it's on high, but what you're gonna do is once you get it all in there, once you get it in there, take your lid. I'm going to put that on top. I'm going to reduce the heat to about medium high, which on mine is about 7. Put my timer on, okay, for 9 minutes. Shouldn't take more than 9 minutes to steam that. Alright? Getting back to my chicken here. When we get back, what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your chicken and you're going to pull all of the skin off of it. Because the one thing that's bad on chicken, when it's not just your boneless chicken breast, is all this, this little fatty skin. Alright? And throw that away. Can't keep that in the garbage too long because it will stink up your house. It will smell. And I try to wash my hands every time I deal with raw meat. But what I want to do is I guess this is going to be part 1 of chicken veggie burrito. I guess what we'll call it, chicken veggie burrito. Alright, so this is part 1. I will see you in a minute for part 2. Alright? And then I'll show you how to prep the chicken.